Hi there. This is a video podcast about social software and happiness. I was challenged by Suzanne Goldstein of the socialage.com to write a blog post for her blog about happiness at work and social software. What is participating in social software make you happy at work? And I thought instead of writing an actual blog post, I would talk a little about it and talk to one of the experts, namely Thomas Madsen-Mygdal, who's with me here. And Thomas lives and breathes social software. He blogs. He has a company called Social Square, which consults on blogging. You have 23, which is an image sharing site. Yep. You have the Copenhagen project, which examines the impact of social software on decision-making processes.
Something
like that, yeah. So I'll put the question to you, Thomas. Why does social software make people happy?
Does it?
Does it? That's a good question.
Good question. Yeah. Does it? I think what's interesting is really that there's so little sort of empirical evidence of really using social software in organizations. So a lot of the things we can see are sort of theses about what would happen if you really started using it. But I guess something that's more participatory, something that gives everyone in the organization access to almost the same information, which takes a lot of the sort of creepiness out of, I don't know what's going on, other people are making decisions without, etc., etc.
So openness, transparency.
Transparency, more informed, but I think ultimately just sort of more participatory ought to make you more...
Should make you more happy, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then there's the other one dimension that I think about is that social software is really good at helping people create and maintain relationships.
Yeah.
And relationships are a huge source of happiness for people, good relationships anyway.
Yeah. So there's probably also a self-discovery thing about using these tools to really sort of realize who you are and what your interests are, and that aspects then sort of let you find the others that have the same passions and the same interests.
Exactly.
Which also ought to make you probably more happy about things.
I think so. Can you remember a situation where participating in social software made you happy?
Made me happy?
Yeah.
I'm never happy.
Well, less unhappy then.
Less unhappy. A situation where
because I got a comment on my blog a while back from a lady in Hong Kong who said that she had quit her job partly because of something she'd read on my blog, and she just wanted to thank me because it was such a big decision for her, and that made me really, really happy to know that somebody on the other side of the planet had used something I've written to make a big decision in their life. That made me really, really happy.
So what made really? Yeah, good question. I guess I do this thing called Reboot also, that which is sort of a festival for the practical visionaries of the world, and I guess that makes a lot of the aspects of that really sort of makes you happy, and also just the fact that people will openly sort of give their feedback on things. They'll state their opinions, the good things, the bad things, which it shows that it's worthwhile doing. So that's sort of could be an example of. But I guess really what makes probably I would say the most common thing for me would probably be just sort of finding interesting stuff, because I did a very little thing, and then that led to other people having to share the same interest. So probably the thing that makes me sort of is people, other people.
People, yeah.
And I guess social tools are really good at finding other people.
Yeah.
Inherently in the name social, I guess.
Yeah. Because at work, you see your colleagues, you see your boss, and that's about it. And suddenly, through a blog at work, you can discover a person in the same company, in some other plant, in some other department.
Or through a social network, or through whatever sharing social tool you're using. Yeah. But I guess it's the internal part that I think we have pretty good empirical evidence that in sort of the external context of sharing that there's pretty good empirical evidence that this stuff will work.
Yeah.
But I think it's interesting that, and obviously the external and the internal are sort of, coming together these days. But it's really sort of in the big organization where the tools currently almost makes you unhappy.
Yeah. There's one thing I've been thinking about though is, does it make you more efficient at work? Or do you just waste your time surfing on Facebook and Flickr and 23 and is there, do you know, do people, is there some way that social software can actually make you better at your job, not just, feel better at your job?
I guess social tools is this big umbrella term that's difficult. So there are definitely aspects of productivity in a lot of the tools. But then there are aspects of sort of discovery, which commonly isn't really linked to productivity, but can lead to a great amount of productivity by having the right set of people at the right set of time with the right set of information and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, but I guess it would probably be interesting that you probably could more call these tools happiness tools than
productivity tools. Yeah.
Some of them are productivity tools, but a lot of these tools are inherently by their social sort of nature really sort of about something that's very human, and not sort of some industrial process tool thing that's just sort of a very much of an abstraction from.
It is really about the relationships, isn't it? About finding other people and getting to know them and letting them get to know you.
Sharing meaningful stuff instead of doing press releases or other boring stuff. Like it's really, it's very human, which and is why that people focus on the tools and not about the culture of it, because I think it's really ultimately more about a social age or a new way of working or rediscovering sort of human aspects of how we work and how we do things.
You know what that reminds me of?
No?
Justin Hall at one of the reboots who said that any technology that doesn't help me meet new people or get laid is a waste of time.
Exactly. That's a pretty good test, I guess.
Yeah, I guess so.
Have you got laid from your blog?
I refuse to answer that question on the grounds that it may incriminate me.
Or incriminate
That's
your
not
wife.
really the point.
Your wife.
Yeah, it might. Well, thank you very much, Thomas. Fun
Pleasure.
talking to you as always.